They say love is blind, but blindness isn't love, it's weakness. And when you can't see clearly, you become a target. Let me tell you something powerful. Not every smile is pure, not every word is truth, and not every hand that reaches for you is reaching for love. Some are reaching for control. Some are reaching for your energy, your resources, your very soul. And you've felt it, haven't you? The confusion, the doubt, the weight of questioning yourself, when deep down you know something feels wrong. That's not your heart lying to you. That's manipulation. But here's the truth. The moment you recognize the game, you take back the board. The moment you see the strings, you can never be the puppet again. And the moment you step into awareness, you step into freedom. The guilt trap. Guilt is one of the sharpest weapons ever used in manipulation. It doesn't scream. It doesn't strike. It whispers. It creeps into your chest until you feel like her unhappiness is your fault. Her struggles are your responsibility. Her every tear a debt you must repay. She sighs when you don't respond the way she wants. She withdraws when you don't bend to her needs. She paints herself as the victim and you as the cause, until you begin to question your own worth, your own choices, your own truth. That's how guilt works. It poisons you from the inside until you're no longer standing as a man, but crawling as a servant. But here is the reality. She doesn't want you to see you are not her savior. You are not responsible for carrying the weight of her storms, nor for healing wounds she refuses to face herself. Her moods are not chains for you to wear. Her struggles are not prisons for you to enter. Her pain is not a currency you must endlessly pay for. When you live under guilt, you lose yourself. You sacrifice your peace. You trade your identity for approval that never comes. And the more you give, the more she takes, until you wake up one day empty, drained, and broken. Standing firm doesn't make you heartless. It makes you free. It makes you strong. It makes you a man who refuses to be enslaved by emotional chains disguised as love. The silent weapon. Silence can be louder than words. It can echo in your mind, gnaw at your thoughts, and make you question everything you've ever said or done. It doesn't need shouting. It doesn't need chaos. It's a cold, calculated weapon designed to cut you down without making a sound. When she withholds her voice, it's not always because she's searching for peace. Sometimes it's because she wants control. She wants you uneasy, restless, desperate to break the silence. She wants you begging for her attention, chasing her validation, proving your worth just to be acknowledged again. That is not love. It's manipulation. You know the feeling. The endless hours of staring at your phone, waiting for a reply that never comes. The pit in your stomach when the room is filled with quiet tension. The way your mind starts replaying every mistake, every word, every moment, searching for what you did wrong. That's how silence works. It forces you to punish yourself while she sits back and watches you crumble. But here's the truth: silence is not a reflection of your worth. It's a tactic, a power play, a psychological game meant to shift the balance in her favor. The more you chase, the more you beg, the deeper you fall into the trap she's set for you. Hold your ground. Do not run toward the silence. as if it's your responsibility to fix it. Do not hand over your power by proving yourself to someone who refuses to speak. Real love doesn't starve you of communication. Real connection doesn't thrive in punishment. When you stop reacting to silence, the weapon loses its edge. When you refuse to chase, the game ends. And when you stand firm, you send a message louder than words ever could. That you will not be broken by the absence of sound, and you will not surrender your strength to emotional warfare disguised as quiet. The sweet mask. There is nothing more dangerous than a mask painted with sweetness. A mask that smiles, flatters, and charms while hiding something far colder beneath. That mask is built with words. Soft words, sweet words, the kind of words that make your guard fall and your heart open wide. But words are cheap. They cost nothing to speak. They can be rehearsed, repeated, recycled, and yet feel brand new every time they touch your ears. She tells you what you want to hear, that you're different, that you're the one, that she'll never hurt you, never leave, never break what you've built together. And for a while, you believe it. You want to believe it, because hope is powerful. And the heart clings to hope, even when the mind whispers doubt. But promises without action are illusions. They are empty shadows dressed as light. You've seen it before. The big speeches about change, about loyalty, about love everlasting. And then the behavior that tells a very different story. Late replies, broken commitments, excuses stacked on excuses, apologies that sound convincing but lead right back into the same cycle. That is the sweet mask at work, creating the illusion of love while hiding the truth of indifference or self-interest. Actions never lie. They expose the reality beneath the mask. If she says she respects you, but disrespects your time, it's not respect. If she says she loves you, but her behavior drains you, that's not love. If she swears she'll change, but nothing ever changes, the promise is a performance, not a truth. This is where most men fall, into the trap of clinging to words, because words are easier to hold onto than reality. But if you want clarity, you must train your eyes, not your ears. Listen less to what she says and more to what she does when no one is watching. Watch how she treats you when she doesn't need anything from you. Watch how consistent her actions are when there's nothing to gain. That's the truth. That's the reality behind the mask. The sweet mask is powerful because it feeds your hope, your trust, your desire for connection. But when you strip the mask away, when you choose action over words, when you stop being seduced by illusions, you finally see her for who she really is, not who she pretends to be. The push-pull game. One day she's fire. The next day she's ice. One moment she makes you feel like the center of her universe, and the next, like you don't even exist. You're left spinning, lost in confusion, asking yourself what changed, what you did wrong, why the love that burned yesterday feels like it never existed today. This is the push-pull game. It's not love, it's not passion, it's control. She pushes you away, then pulls you close. She starves you of affection, then floods you with it. And each swing in the cycle binds you tighter, like chains you can't see, but you feel cutting deep into your soul. The unpredictability hooks you. The highs are intoxicating, the lows are devastating, and before long you become addicted to the roller coaster. That's the trap, keeping you emotionally unstable, desperate for her warmth, and terrified of her coldness. You know the feeling. You wait for her texts like oxygen, your chest tightening every time she ignores you. Then, out of nowhere, she showers you with attention, and suddenly the world feels alive again. But it doesn't last. The warmth fades. The silence returns. And the cycle begins all over again. This isn't love. Real love is steady. Real passion is consistent. What you're experiencing is conditioning. A psychological loop designed to keep you chasing approval you should never have to chase. The push-pull game works because it feeds on your need for certainty and validation. The warmth gives you hope. The cold makes you doubt yourself. And so you cling harder, fight harder, invest deeper, all in the name of trying to get back to that fleeting moment when she made you feel wanted. But here's the truth. Those moments were never about love. They were about power. Control is the core of the game. By keeping you guessing, she keeps you weak. By making her attention unpredictable, she makes it priceless. And by giving you just enough to keep you hooked, she ensures you'll never walk away. That's not connection. That's captivity. Breaking free begins with recognition. Stop mistaking chaos for chemistry. Stop calling inconsistency passion. Stop believing that love should feel like survival. It shouldn't. Love should build you, not break you. It should give you peace, not torment. It should ground you, not throw you into storms you never asked for. The push-pull game thrives on your reactions. The more you chase, the stronger it grows. The more you cling, the deeper you fall. But when you step out of the cycle, when you stop playing, when you finally choose peace over chaos, the game ends. And in that moment, you reclaim not just your power, but your freedom, your dignity, and your truth, the boundary test. Every man has a line, that invisible line drawn in the sand, the place where your standards, your values, your limits stand guard. That line is what defines you. It says who you are, what you tolerate, what you refuse to accept. It is your shield, your backbone, your identity. But here's the truth. If you don't defend that line, someone will cross it. And once it's crossed without resistance, it begins to disappear. This is where the boundary test comes in. A woman will test your line, not always out of malice, sometimes out of curiosity, sometimes out of instinct. She wants to know, do you mean what you say? Do your actions match your words? Will you stand firm, or will you fold the moment pressure is applied? Every push, every challenge, every subtle attempt to bend your standards is a test. Not of her power, but of yours. It starts small. She cancels plans without apology. She disrespects your time, your space, your energy. Maybe she mocks your goals, brushes off your values, or pushes you into things you don't believe in. And you let it slide because you don't want conflict, because you're afraid of losing her, because you think compromise will buy you love. But here's the danger. Every time you surrender your line, you lose a piece of yourself. A man without boundaries becomes a man without respect. And a man without respect becomes a man without power. The moment you choose to stay silent when your line is crossed, you send a message. My values are negotiable. My standards are flexible. My self-respect can be bargained. That message doesn't create love. It creates leverage. And once she knows she can move your line, she'll keep pushing, keep erasing, until there's nothing left to protect. Boundaries are not walls built out of fear. They are gates built out of strength. They are not about shutting people out, but about teaching them how to treat you. A woman may not always like your boundaries, but she will always respect them. If you respect them first, when you enforce your line with calmness and clarity, you send a signal that you are a man of principle, a man of conviction, a man who refuses to lose himself just to be liked. But here's the hardest truth. Defending your line means being willing to walk away. It means being willing to lose her rather than lose yourself. And that's what separates boys from men. Boys surrender their standards for affection. Men stand firm in their values, knowing that love without respect isn't love at all. You must understand this: boundaries are not selfish. They are sacred. They protect your time, your energy, your purpose. They separate manipulation from respect, chaos from peace, control from connection. Without them, you don't have a relationship, you have a prison. And you are the one who built the bars. Every time you say no with strength, you protect your yes with value. Every time you enforce your line, you prove to yourself that your dignity is not for sale. And every time you choose principle over pressure, you rise higher as a man, untouchable, unshakable, unbroken. You are not here to be a puppet. You are not here to be drained. You are here to rise as a man who knows his worth, who stands firm, who refuses to be broken by manipulation. So take this truth and carve it into your soul. The man who sees the game clearly can never be played again. It's time to wake up. It's time to rise. It's time to take back your power.